So today we will be looking into the small intestine, which is basically the part of the digestive system. So the small intestine is 6 meters long, or you can say it is 20 foot long. It consists of 3 parts, which is basically, first of all, which is duodenum, which is duodenum. Second is jejunum. Third is ileum. Right, third one is ileum. So basically these are the 3 parts. Let me show you the diagram in order to make your concept more clear. Okay, so as you can see in this diagram, over here we are having this part is known as duodenum. This part is known as duodenum, and this part, basically this part is known as, this whole part is known as jejunum, and over here this part and this whole part is known as ileum. So basically there are 3 parts. Number 1 duodenum, second jejunum, and third is ileum. I hope this concept is clear to you. Let's talk about some basic introduction about, first of all, about duodenum, right? So duodenum is 25 centimeter in length, 25 centimeter in length, and it has 5 centimeter diameter. Its diameter is 5 centimeter, and this part is not coiled, or neither it is nor coiled, or neither it is twisted. It is not coiled, it is straight part, right? And what does actually the word duodenum mean? This word duodenum means 12th finger of breath, which means if we will put 12 fingers, then its breath will be formed. So the duodenum, the literal meaning of duodenum is 12th finger of breath. If we put 12 fingers, the duodenum will be formed, like the size, the length will be formed like this. And this is the smallest part of the small intestine. Smallest part of small intestine, right? So I hope this is clear. Now next we are having, which is jejunum. Second is jejunum. Okay, right? What does jejunum mean? Actually, jejunum means hunger or empty. Jejunum means hunger or empty. It is basically, it is 8 foot long, and it is coiled part. It is the coiled part of the small intestine, right? This is the coiled part of the small intestine, and it is 8 foot long, right? And its literal meaning is hunger or empty. Now let's talk about number 3rd, which is ileum, right? Ileum, actually ileum itself means twisted, and it is highly twisted part, right? Its length is 12 foot. It is 12 foot long, and it is the, or you can say this is the largest part of small intestine. This is the largest part of the small intestine, right? So I hope this is clear to you. Now we will be looking into the basic structure of the internal structure of duodenum, right? The basic internal structure of duodenum, right? So consider that over here we are having, this is the stomach, right? This is the stomach, and here it is, and this portion is known as, this whole portion is known as duodenum. This whole portion is known as duodenum, right? Like, let's see this diagram in a microscope. Let's magnify this duodenum. Let's magnify this duodenum and see its internal structure, right? So here we are having this, right? Okay, here this is the basically duodenum. So in duodenum, here we are having some kind of foldings. Here we are having some kind of foldings which are known as pilici circularis, which is known as pilici circularis, right? Okay, there are some foldings in the duodenum which are known as pilici circularis. Okay, let me make this first of all. Let me explain you. Basically, this is okay. Basically, this region is known as pilici circularis. There actually the mucous membrane is folded. This region is known as mucosa. Here it is submucosa, right? Okay, this region is known as pilici circularis, and above the pilici circularis we are having this structure known as villi. This structure is known as villi. Okay, let me show you the diagram in order to make your concept more clear. I know you are quite confused in pilici circularis. Okay, so here we are having a very nice diagram of this pilici circularis. Okay, here over here you can see that this is pilici circularis. As I said, these are the actually foldings. These are actually the foldings, as you can see over here. You can see over here, right? These are actually the foldings. These are the actually foldings known as pilici circularis. Okay, when we magnify this diagram, we found that this region is known as pilici circularis, right? This region is known as pilici circularis, and above the pilici circularis there are villi. Actually the mucous membrane is folded, right? And these foldings are known as pilici circularis, and above this pilici circularis we are having villi. This whole region is known as pilici circularis, and above that pilici circularis, here we are having this villi, right? I hope this is clear to you. Now if the pilici circularis is clear to you, let's talk about the structure of villi, right? Only structure of villi. So what is this? Basically this is villi. This is known as villi. This is villi. So above the villi, actually there are some, it is made up of cells which are known as tall columnar epithelium cells. It is made up of tall columnar epithelium cells, right? Over here we are having this tall columnar epithelium cells. Okay, here. But the cytoplasm of this tall columnar epithelium is folded, and they form some foldings. Inside them there are some foldings. there are some foldings which form microvilli, which form micro which form actually the microvilli. So what's the work of this microvilli? Actually this microvilli increases surface area. So if the surface area increases, it will increase absorption. That's why microvilli are there. And so these are the finger like projections which are known as microvilli. Actually these are like this, something like this, right? What do you think, like when you see this? These are like, it's forming the image like brush border, like if they are forming the will brush. So these cells actually are known as brush border epithelium. These cells are known as brush border epithelium. So right, this is villi. These are actually, and it is made up of, like above them there are some tall columnar cells which have some finger like projections, like finger like folding. Actually their cytoplasm folds and they form microvilli, which are also known as, these cells are also known as brush border epithelium. Actually the thing to remember is these brush border epithelium contain high amount of mitochondria. High mitochondria. Okay, if you know, like if you have studied in matric, then the structure of kidney, there was PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, which was also lined with columnar epithelium, brush border columnar epithelium, and there we said that it contained high number of mitochondria, right? Why mitochondria is used here? Because as we know that in small intestine the process of absorption is done, right? And for absorption obviously energy is required. And what like when we say that we have high number of mitochondria, what does that mean? Means high number of mitochondria means high number of respiration. High number of respiration means that there will be high amount of energy will be released. So in absorption, all obvious that energy will be required over here. So high amount of mitochondria means high amount of energy will be taken from these cells. So these are known as brush border epithelium cells, or they contain high number of mitochondria, right? I hope this structure is clear to you. Now let's talk about, like over here we are having duodenum. Okay, this is, consider that this is the serosa. This is serosa. I'm just talking about the general, talking about the layers, right? This is serosa. After serosa there is layer known as muscularis. And after muscularis there is another layer known as submucosa. But after that here are some foldings which are in mucosa, which is present in mucosa, and which are known as villi. These all are known as villi. And actually this villi is plural, right? The singular will be villus, right? Over here. So now let us talk about the gland which is known as, actually there is one gland which is present in mucosa and another gland which is present in submucosa. Basically, let's see. This is one villi, this is another villi, right? In mid between two villi there is a gland known as crypts of Leber-Cohen. There is a gland, these both are actually, this is villi, this is also the villi. Actually, there is a gland between two villi. Gland between two villi, or you can see in the mid between two villi, there is a gland which is known as crypts of Leber-Cohen. Okay, what is actually, why it is named as crypts of Leber-Cohen? Because it is not visible over here, like it's quite hidden. So that's why we say this is known as crypts of Leber-Cohen. Right, what does crypts means? Crypts means something which is hidden. So actually they are hidden between two villi and they secrete their secretions, right? Okay, it secretes, they secrete their secretion over here in this region, right? So basically it is a exocrine gland. How? Like from this region the secretion is passed from this region. Obviously it is not passing through bloodstream, and like there from this region nothing is secreted, like it is transferred, so it is known as duct. We will say this it is a duct. So from this duct to secretions there is going, from this duct the secretion is going, right? So that's why it is known as duct, and it is known as exocrine gland, right? It will release mucus, some hormones, some enzymes. Okay, this is exocrine gland, which means that it will release enzymes. Remember one thing, exocrine gland almost release enzymes, right? The secretion of the scripts of Leber-Cohen is known as, the secretion of scripts of Leber-Cohen is known as succus entericus. This is the known as, what is this? This is actually the secretion of scripts of Leber-Cohen, or you can say that it is the intestinal secretion, or you can say this intestinal that is known as succus entericus. The secretion which is released from this place is known as succus entericus, right? Okay, this is looking like the scripts of Leber-Cohen is done, like the basic introduction. Let's have the introduction of another gland. Okay, here let me draw, this is villi again, and this region is known as mucosa, right? And here we are having another layer which is known as submucosa. Actually there is a gland okay, basically there is a gland known as Brunner's gland which is present in submucosa, but its duct enter into the villi. It's duct, it goes in the mucosa, but actually it is present in Brunner's, like it is actually present in submucosa, but its duct goes into this villi, or you can say this layer known as mucosa, right? And here, like in this region, the secretion of this Brunner's gland and secretion of scripts of Leber-Cohen mixed together, and they form a name which is known as succus entericus. You can also say this as succus entericus. So over here, and basically this Brunner's gland is known as mucosal gland. Basically it releases some enzymes. This crypts of Leber-Cohen is known as mucosal gland. This is known as mucosal. This crypts of Leber-Cohen is known as mucosal gland, right? And this Brunner's gland is like, it releases enzymes, it releases water, it releases mucus, right? And it is present in the submucosal, like it is a submucosal gland, it is present in submucosa, right? So I hope this topic is clear to you. And what about the number of villi which are present? So there are actually millions of villi which are present in the in the small intestine. Millions of villi are present, right? So I hope this is clear to you.